with you all. We may have some stragglers joining. I don't know. Wow, I wish this wasn't quite so close, but anyway, we'll work with them. So we'll start with our land acknowledgement. And just a little things I have in store for us. So we'll do land acknowledgement, of course, then we have some poetry to read. Then we've got some facts about these 6 exercises that we can do every day to build resilience and mental strength. I think that just doesn't do any of this. So we'll have a little discussion about that. And we'll do a lovely relaxing meditation. Does that sound good? Good. Okay. So we sit on the traditional territories of many great Indigenous people and their lands that today is known as Chatham-Kent. Originally, this land that was inhabited by 3 Fires Confederacy, the Ottawa, the Potawatomi, and the Ojibwa. These Indigenous nations are known as the Anishinaabeg, the Lunapui, as well as the Yishwangkang or something, which is Walpole Island. I'm sorry, I'm really mispronouncing that. Somewhere, Ba Kejuang. That's the phonetic way to speak that. And all Okay, these Indigenous nations known as collectively as the Anishinaabe, the Lunapui, as well as the Ba Kejuang, Walpole Island, all established today as Chatham-Kent, and all are part of the McKee Purchase Treaty and other agreements that are laid out by the Dishwik-Wansfoon Wampum Treaty Agreement. These First Nations agreed to the mutual sharing of obligations, responsibilities, and privilege to be stewards of the land and the water. Today, these responsibilities, obligations, and privileges extend to all people. We admit that this land acknowledgement is a first step towards truth and reconciliation. And I invite you and everyone to become informed about traditional lands, treaties, history, culture, and wisdom of Indigenous people. There's still so much to be learned and shared. Okay. And so, sorry, 2 poems. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay. The first poem is called Quiet Things. And it's not been a very quiet day in terms of the wind, but it's kind of interesting to sit in my comfortable little room up here and hear the wind outside. But that's not tonight. This poem is called Quiet Things. Quiet things, clouds, trees, flowers, fruit, air, rock, soil, the silent substance of earth. The sound of no small talk. The sound of no small talk. Fluttering dollops of winged nonsense alight and disperse, making room for quiet thought. There is a silence before a sound. Silence before a sound is a quiet envelope between the now and the after. Your last moment of unknowing before the sowing of whatever and whoever and wherever comes next. Silent passage, the last breath that floats to the stars, the silent passage. Quiet things. And this next poem is called Blessings in the Chaos. And I heard my wonderful yogi recite this on Sunday night, and I was just so struck by the expressiveness of this poem, and it really, really resonated with me. And so have a listen and see what happens inside you as you listen to this poem. It's called Blessings in the Chaos by Jan Richardson. To all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you, that have made their home in you. that go with you, even to the holy places, but will not let you rest, will not let you hear your life with wholeness or feel the grace that fashioned you. Let what distracts you cease. Let what divides you cease. Let there come an end to what diminishes and demeans, and let depart all that keeps you in its cage. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible, and see what shimmers within the storm. Let that sort of percolate a little inside you. And now we'll switch gears to talk about neuroscience. You guys know what a bit of a geek I am for that stuff and how much I like to share it. And there are 6 daily exercises that this researcher recommends to increase our resilience and build our mental strength. And that is, none of these are very easy to accomplish, but we can. We probably will get better and better at them if we practice them a little bit every day. One is to visualize positive outcomes. I think all of us have no trouble visualizing bad things that might happen. Really good at that, and for protective reasons. But can you, at the beginning or at the end of each day, think through some situations in your life, big or small, that cause you some anxiety, and can you think about them in a positive way? And there are reasons that people don't like to do this because, oh, I'm going to get so disappointed if it doesn't come true. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen whatever way it happens. And how about you give yourself this possibility and let yourself imagine something positive, because doing that is kind of fun and relieving and good for our brains to kind of go there. Create that positive response versus the negative, the quick negative that we go to all the time. Turning our anxiety into progress is the next recommendation. Our brain's plasticity is what enables us to be resilient during challenging times, to learn how to calm down, to reassess the situation, reframe our thoughts, and make smarter decisions. It's really not a good idea to make important decisions if we're feeling kind of frantic but can we take a breath? And in the moment of that calm, can we think, hey, what needs to happen? What do I need to do? What can I do? Those are just really, really good opportunities. We know that anger can really block us from, attending to what might be a possibility. Fear can trigger memories of past failures that will keep us living small. Sadness could flatten our mood and demotivate us to do anything at all. And worry can make us procrastinate and make, so that we don't do anything and demotivate us. Frustration can also stymie any progress and steal our motivation. So, if we can take a deep breath in and recognize this is an anxious moment, what can I do in this moment to help myself or help someone else if that's the goal? But these things we can see as challenges, and they don't have to be bad things. There is just no life that is worth living that doesn't have anxiety in it. It's just part of life. The third thing that helps to build mental resiliency is to try something new. Most of us are a little afraid to try new things because, well, I don't know what I'm doing and I could look silly, or it won't be fun, or I might not know anyone, or those kinds of things. And yet, doing something completely different that we've never done before is so refreshing and so good for our brains. So as much as we might have those fears, can we say, well, I might have some fears about it, but I'm going to do it anyway, and just recognize, what do I have to lose? And I might have lots of things to gain. The fourth thing that's recommended is to reach out. There's nothing more powerful than being able to ask for help and staying, some connection with friends or family, and actively nurturing that connection if if that's something that's going to be helpful to us. Um, that stuff isn't really easy to do because some people don't like to be surrounded by people. And yet sometimes, if someone was to call on us and ask for our help, we would be there to do that. And yet somehow, some way, we sometimes internalize the message that no, no one's going to be willing to help me. And yet, is that really true? So again, you ask yourself, well, what would I do in that situation? And if you think that you would respond, then why not entertain that possibility that anybody else would respond to help you? This next one is kind of an interesting one. Practice positive self-tweeting. And I like that. It's just a way of talking to yourself in positive ways. But you know what? If it helps you to send out a little message of encouragement or anything to yourself, go ahead and do that. Um, you know, it's just a really, really wonderful thing to do, to come up with positive reminders or little, words of compassion for ourselves. But give that a try if that works. Lots of times people write little positive affirmations, write them on sticky notes and stick them all over. This is one other way to use our devices that we're so attached to kind of give us a little boost in that area of feeling a little more compassionate, a little kinder to ourselves. And then the last thing that we know from research that's extremely, extremely beneficial is to immerse yourself in nature any opportunity you can. Those of us who live in the city, we might not think too much about, my street and da da da, but just taking a few moments to look at a tree or to look at the sky can be so, so impactful and have positive effects on our mental health and our mood. Just to, really, really appreciate all of these silent trees right now that are blowing in the wind and, in their dormant stage. They're just waiting, right, as we all are, for the spring. You don't really need to immerse yourself in a forest to have this benefit. Just anywhere that's a quiet environment that has things that are natural will work just fine. So breathe, relax, become aware of sounds and sensations, using all of your senses in a natural place. There you go. There's 6 suggestions for helping to build mental resiliency. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to invite you to do is something that I probably practice this in one way or another at least once a day. And those of you who've been with me before will remember this, the polyvagal exercises that do so much to calm that vagus nerve that stretches sort of right back the base of our skull all the way down our spine to our tailbone. And then it has efferent nerves that radiate kind of over our face, into our neck, and into our shoulder blades, down our spine, into and around our bellies, our abdomens, really sending a lot of important information to our gut biome, our stomachs, and then onwards into our sit bones that sometimes will keep us sort of, ready to pounce. So the vagus nerve is a really powerful nervous system, as you've heard me say many times. It sends messages to us, meaning it can calm us down, but it can also rev us up based on, the information that we're taking in with our eyes and our ears. If we're hearing scary sounds, for instance, the vagus nerve will inform us and sort of stop digestion and get ready to flee or fight or whatever we need to do. But we also have a conscious ability to bring some relief to the vagus nerve. And that's what I'm going to invite you to do now. So the first thing that feels good is just to kind of give yourself a little head massage. You don't have to press too hard. Just like imagine that you're shampooing your hair and go all over, especially, behind your ears and on that bony outcroppy part from the base of your skull, right there. And, a little in front, your temples, just really using your fingers, get right in there. And you might notice, like I do, that when I do this, I start to kind of breathe a little deeper, and sometimes I end up sighing, and my hair is a mess, but that's okay. We don't care. And then, so just know that you've done that. Then take your hands and rub them together. Get a little bit of warmth happening. And what we're going to do is when we feel that they're nice and warm, we're going to place them over top of our eyes. We're going to cup our hands like this and just place them over our eyes so that we're blocking out any light. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And just notice there's nothing to see in there. It's dark. It's kind of soothing, isn't it? Our eyes don't have to work hard to do anything. Just relax. You can do that. And when you want to do that on your own, you can do it for a lot longer. But we're going to just move on now. And I would like to invite you to place the tips of your fingers on each of your hands over top of your eyebrows. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Your eyes are open now. But I just have the tips of my fingers on my eyebrows. And I'm giving little small rotations of my fingers over my eyebrows. It can feel so relaxing because eyebrows are quite expressive when they work all day. And then over to my temples. I'm going to give a little massage there. Actually, that feels really good. So I'm kind of pushing a little bit harder. If it feels good, you can do the same, but really listen to yourself and what feels good. And I don't know, I'm feeling like I want to sort of give the back of my neck a little massage. So I'm going to let my fingers go to the back of my neck, the place where my skull meets my neck. And oh, that can feel so good. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to just cup my face with my hands. And I might send a little message to myself, oh, precious one. Sometimes we do that to little children, don't we? Cup their sweet little faces. And can you cup your own sweet little face and just hold it there, letting the weight of your heavy head rest into your hands a bit. And then if that feels nice, you can kind of massage your face and your cheeks and really kind of come down and get into the jaw muscles. Oh, they're very hardworking, aren't they? Chewing and speaking, just massaging, even our lips. And just kind of, mouths are pretty hardworking too. Just massaging around and then placing your whole hands on top of your face and taking in a nice deep breath, breathing in, breathing out. And imagining that all of those muscles that you sort of have lightly touched and massaged, just letting them be soft. And in a moment, taking your hands and crisscross so that you've got holding each of those, or those trapezoid muscles that are keeping your head upright, connected between your head and your shoulders, and just a little massage with your fingers in there. Feel almost like a little hug. And then if you want to travel down to your shoulders and give them a little bit of a squeeze and a rub, and down the lengths of your arms. Each part a little rub, and then your wrists. And then maybe rubbing your hands together again. And then just placing them on your belly. Sitting for a moment, and as you sit there, perhaps noticing the movement of your belly as you breathe. How your belly expands and lifts when you breathe in. And how it contracts and settles down when you exhale. Following that rhythm just for a little bit. Nice. So there you go, a little self-massage. That's my little go-to. Okay. So, for tonight, I have a lovely little general meditation that we will do. And if there's time, we'll end with loving kindness meditation. To do. Where is it? There it is. Thank you. Sorry. Full confession, I had to really run here quickly tonight to get home from work and home to do this. And I halfway thought about staying at my workplace to do it, but it was getting a bit noisy there. And suddenly I thought, oh, there's a home. It's a sign to go home. So I made it home, and then clicked on Zoom, and of course had a few little technical difficulties, but here we are. And I do want to share with you that, full of frustration and doubt with the technology, but it all worked out. Did have some help from my audio person, my tech person, so that was really much appreciated. And here we are, and that little massage, polyvagal massage, really, really helped. So let's begin. And of course, the first thing that I would like to invite you to do is to arrange yourself in a position or posture that's comfortable and in a way that you can feel oriented, meaning you know where you are, you're sitting, you might be lying down, you might be reclining, your room might be brightly lit or it might be dimly lit. Just becoming very familiar with where you are in your surroundings, because that's also very relaxing and soothing to know where we are. So allow yourself to feel safe and familiar. You are. Allow yourself to get even more comfortably relaxed. Letting yourself get absorbed in different ideas, perhaps, and different ways to experience yourself in this moment of meditation. Gradually notice how it starts to become very clear to you what is inside of you right now. What it is that you're able to notice about yourself, inside yourself and outside yourself. What's going on in your immediate environment? Are there sounds that you can hear? Is there silence? Are you able to notice your own breathing? It's interesting too, because we're part of this, and yet we're also separate from, aren't we? We're our own little entities. And so now, if it makes sense to you, if eyes have been opened, you may wish to let them rest, to let them close. If they've already been closed, that's fine. Taking a moment to let all of the muscles around your eyes be soft and relaxed. Notice that as you do this, your attention may drift inward. And you can be aware of many different aspects or elements of what you're experiencing in this moment, in this next moment. In the next moment. You can be aware that there are many different elements to our experiences. Sometimes our experiences are thoughts. Sometimes our experiences are feelings. Are you able to notice? With your awareness right now? Whatever things that you might be thinking about never stops. Whatever's occurring to you in reaction to the things that I'm saying, the words that I'm using, the sound of my voice, perhaps other sounds in your experience, but also in response to your own thoughts. Because one thought will trigger another thought, which triggers another. And you've often heard me say that there are no shoulds in meditation. There's just awareness. Whatever it is that we become aware of in this moment, allow yourself Allow yourself the freedom in this moment to let your mind go wherever your mind needs to go, from thought to thought, place to place, sensation to different sensation, or any mixture of all of these things. All of this is a conscious experience, which is a very important part of who you are. No two people experience something in exactly the same way. We know that it's very important to recognize too that there's very often a physical aspect of our experience. That's when I invite sometimes folks to recognize the sensations of points of contact between, your sit bones and whatever surface you're sitting on. Notice the pressure, perhaps the warmth, or some other sensation. And let that represent your physical experience. Allow yourself to really, really focus on that. You can notice other aspects of your body as you sit, perhaps wondering what part of you feels the most relaxed. Is it your eyes? Is it your chest? Is it your hands? Your left foot? Whatever part of you is feeling very relaxed compared to other parts of your body that may not be feeling as relaxed. Just resting comfortably as you're doing now. What moment do you notice now? What about this moment are you noticing now? Perhaps you're noticing that your breathing is slowing down. When that happens, of course, your pulse rate slows down. What part of your body begins to feel a little distant from your awareness? What part of your body begins to feel the closest? There are so many different aspects of the physical experience that you can experience when you bring your awareness, your curiosity, and your compassion to whatever you're able to experience physically. Another part, a valuable part of you, is the part of you that has feelings. Sometimes we feel our feelings in our heart or in our belly. It's interesting, we're very connected by the vagus nerve as it happens. But we sometimes experience our feelings in a physical way. Curious about what you can learn sometimes about your feelings of comfort, your feelings of being able to settle in and enjoy and have some quiet, restful time, like now, without really having to think, without having to analyze. A time to just simply be for a while. Feelings of contentment and pleasure. Feelings of relaxation, comfort. Feelings of goodness in what you know that you're experiencing, bringing to yourself in this moment. Not having to say anything, just sensing in to what you're feeling. Just how many feelings are there? I'm not asking you to count, but there are many, aren't there? There might be parts of you that are feeling hopeful, optimistic. There might be pessimistic parts. There might be parts that are a bit bored or needing some different kind of experience. Welcome them. Welcome them all. It's lovely information about you. Parts that like to play, parts that like to plan, parts that like to think about what has been, parts that like to be with others, parts that don't like to be with others. So many, I could name hundreds and hundreds of parts of ourselves. Beautiful practices sometimes to just acknowledge what parts are you aware of in this moment. Because each part is a part of you, a very valuable part of you. And each part informs your experience of yourself. And each part has wonderful and incredible potential. Each part is valuable. Isn't it interesting to know that when we pause and we let our minds rest with a particular part of ourselves, that we can become very absorbed in that. Very valuable, isn't it, to know that we have that choice sometimes to select what we pay attention to, what we feel, and really, really expand upon. Some parts are louder than others. Some parts are quiet. Some parts we may not really like or appreciate. Even those parts that are difficult, are really valuable, important information. And with some gentle, compassionate awareness, even those parts can quiet so that we can listen to what they have to teach us. Spotlight, the gentle spotlight of your awareness can light up any particular part of yourself in any situation. When you have awareness of what is present, what particular part is present, in communication with that part, you can choose to handle some particular situation skillfully with a great deal of awareness and kindness. You're learning so much. It's also true that sometimes there's a mismatch because we might want to feel one particular way, but another part of us is almost tapping us on the shoulder with impatience or frustration or anger or sadness or fear, whatever it might be. Because we too have that ability to generate our own problems, don't we? Sometimes you might think about going to do something social, going to a party. It might be interesting to reach inside to see part of you that may want to go to the party and be social. There may also be a part of you that doesn't want to go to the party and be social. The kindest thing that we can do is not to shame or blame either part, but to gently inquire about the parts of you that send you the messages. We might want to go to the party because we might want to hear some laughing or some joking or hear about other people's perspectives, share on other people's experiences. Those are all the things that can make a social situation a lot of fun. But what would happen if someone was going to go to a party or a social situation and get very, very absorbed in an internal experience, like a bad mood or anxiety or fear, effectively separating himself or herself from others? And now, what you're learning is that there are times to allow yourself to get absorbed internally, introspectively. And then there are times to allow ourselves to be curious and absorbed externally. Because when you think about it, to be absorbed internally in any social situation sets you apart, causes you to feel more alone or misunderstood. And it isn't always a positive match to how you can feel. We might leave a situation like that and blame ourselves and wonder if we said the right thing or the wrong thing. And it just adds to the heaviness of our situation. Some of us create walls and we block ourselves in. But just as we create walls, we can also take the walls down. And how we might want to do that, using different parts of ourselves that are comfortable, confident to experience something different. You can imagine walking down a long, long hallway with many doors on either side. So if you open one particular door, you can get into the thoughts that are behind that door. If you open a different door, you can get into different feelings. And if you walk further and still open another door, you might become aware of your fears and your vulnerabilities. If you open another door, you might become pleasantly aware of your strengths and your capacities. What an extraordinary thing to experience all of these aspects of yourself and the many parts of yourself. What an extraordinary sense of control and personal power when you know and can appreciate all of the different parts of yourselves. And you know how to move in and out of each of them. Isn't it also valuable to be able to learn from other people's experiences, to interact with others? Remember working with certain people not so long ago when you felt confident and comfortable working with that person? It's interesting the things that stand out for us about our experiences, the positive things that help to motivate us, and sometimes the not so positive things that can create internal conflict for us that sometimes spills out and gets directed at others. We have all of these abilities and all of these feelings, all within ourselves. And some are big and some are small. In so many ways, there's so much to learn about ourselves. And that's what this meditation is about. It's taking a gentle opportunity to take a walk with yourself, learning more and more about all the different parts of you, not rejecting any part of it. And isn't it again powerful to know that you have the ability to separate these different parts of yourself and your experience, and how you may experience an unusual situation. And sometimes recognize that things are entering your awareness that you don't have to do right now. You don't have to attend to them right now. Very gently sending a message. I'll think about you. I'll work with you tomorrow. Because today you're having this experience of relaxing, listening, and learning. Knowing that you decide what to attend to and what to very graciously allow to fade or ebb away, to be considered at another time. Because you do have that power. You have that power right now. You'll have it tomorrow. And just as countries have borders and lines that divide, we have boundaries like that within ourselves too. Boundaries and personal power, healthy awareness that allows us to maintain ourselves and protect ourselves, keeping in what we want to keep in, letting go of what we no longer need. In so many ways, our ability to protect ourselves and have healthy boundaries also helps us to understand more about ourselves. And that can feel really good. Because to know thyself is to love thyself. It also helps us to see others more clearly, seeing the things that other people want for themselves, seeing the things that other people resist or try to protect themselves from, understanding, maybe even resisting people's behavior to intimidate us or manipulate us in some way. And very, very skillfully, we can protect ourselves carefully and powerfully by first having that awareness of what do we need? What is within our healthy boundary? skillfully and carefully protecting yourself powerfully, because you're learning faster and faster every day when you realize that every part of you is valuable and useful. Someday, sometime, whether it's an angry part or a playful part, it serves a very valuable purpose when you use it well, when you know yourself well. And what you're learning now is that you have the ability to deliberately tap into any particular part of you. It's your choice. So that if you've done something that didn't go so well, you're going to be able to find a compassionate part of yourself and become so absorbed in the compassionate words and feelings of that part that you can release any tension and judgment. That you can find a way to let go and relax and release any tension or tightness that comes from the judgment of yourself. So when you find yourself being self-critical, you can equally and powerfully find the part of you that knows how to be patient and accepting. You can really let that percolate inside of you. Let that wash over you and really, really be absorbed deeply. This is your experience of yourself and no one else's. And when you realize, when you come to understand that no matter how much someone loves you, if you were to break your leg, you still would have to wear a cast. No one can wear that cast for you. There's always a boundary that separates you from others. There's always a you. There's always an other. Yet, we can be so respectful of each other's boundaries. And how very, very fortunate that life is this way. Very fortunate that you can have time to be you, to get to know all the different parts of yourself to their fullest, to know when to use them and how to use those parts in ways that you can feel wonderful about, wonderfully skillful. And so right now, continue to enjoy the feelings of comfort and take some time to process this meditation experience, integrating new learnings, reinforcing familiar learnings, and using your experience of this meditation skillfully. Perhaps taking in a deeper breath and a lovely releasing exhale. When you're ready, in the next moment or two, you can bring this experience to a comfortable close and come back to the reorientation of yourself, recognizing where you are again in your world, reorienting fully, perhaps moving your body some, moving parts that have been feeling very, very still. And if your eyes have been closed, opening them when it seems like a good time to do so. And that brings us to 7:51. Just feels right to take in some deeper breaths and let all of that deep meditation experience kind of settle inside us. Breathing in deeply, perhaps visualizing and releasing anything that serves us. Living in what nourishes and exhaling and releasing the need. Just like that. Feel moments of time to let all of that really become integrated, absorbed by us in this moment. Moment in how I like to end our meditation practices with loving kindness. So let's start that. And I think most of you have done this with me before as I look around at our gallery here. I think all of you have been with me before in this way with loving kindness, but just in case anyone needs to be reminded, I'm going to offer 3 loving kindness, 3 or 4 loving kindness intentions. And we'll repeat them 3 times. That's where the 3 comes in. We'll repeat them 3 times. Usually there's a little bit of a longer explanation of the intention. I don't expect you to repeat that. You just take from that what serves you well and something that's, easy to repeat, and know that the intention behind it is just what we're talking about. So let's begin. And again, if you need to adjust postures, because we've been sitting very still for quite some time, go ahead and do that. And maybe stretch. That seems to feel like something I'm compelled to do. And loving kindness intention starts with, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be. Just let yourself be. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be. First intention is happy. Live with a playful and joyful heart, mind, body, and free spirit. I don't expect you to repeat all that. The short form is, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be happy. One more time. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be happy. Breath in. And as we exhale out, again, imagining that the power of the loving kindness intentions travels outside of our bodies and into our homes, and from there into our community, and from our communities into the world and beyond. However you can visualize that, let yourself see it and feel it. The next loving kindness intention that I'll offer is, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be healthy. And that means that we're healthy and we have a body mind that gives energy and strength and healing, and wisdom, courage. Shortened, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be healthy. Again, one more time, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be healthy. Big breath in. And as we exhale, powerfully releasing that loving kindness intention, so that the energy of that travels outside of the bodies, into our homes, and from there into our communities, and from our communities into our country, into our world, and beyond. The third loving kindness intention that we'll offer tonight was like this. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be free from suffering. Be free from suffering, the inner and outer burdens that we carry, that some inflicted upon us by others, knowingly, unknowingly. The shortened version of that is, may all beings everywhere, including myself, be free from pain and suffering. One more time. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be free from pain, suffering. Lovely breath in, filling your chest and lungs, and as you exhale, releasing and letting go the powerful energy of those intentions into our homes and into our communities and into our world and beyond. And the last loving kindness intention that I'll offer tonight goes like this. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be peaceful. Be peaceful and live with the ease and grace of acceptance, forgiveness, self-energy, and well-being. The short form. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be peaceful. One more time. May all beings everywhere, including myself, be peaceful. Lovely, healthy, fresh breath in to nourish us. And as we exhale, releasing the powerful healing energy, that last intention, outside of our bodies, into our homes, our communities, into our countries, into our world, and beyond. Just like that. So lovely to hang out with you tonight. And namaste. I'm looking at all of your names. Thank you so much, guys, and thanks for your patience with all of my technical challenges.
Thank you.